Tess, no one man should have all that power. So, obviously, the lyrics of this title came from Kanye West's song, his song Power, which I've noticed a lot of power dynamics and things that kind of wreak havoc in society. And the point is to kind of explain some of those dynamics and explain the different sides and how it all comes together. So, on the male side, we got physical power, right? Physical power, and that it's large, yeah, physical power. And then on the female side, which is the more interesting one for me because it seems to be running rampant, the female power is sensuality. And I've noticed that the female power seems to be reigning supreme primarily in this particular day and age. Um, the female power is very interesting because um, from what I see, there's not really a lot of tutelage that goes along with it for the good of anyone or anything. It just kind of runs its course whenever it's revealed that it exists for the person who utilizes it. So that would be for like the average 14, 15, 16, 17-year-old woman all the way up to 18 and beyond. So that power I've noticed is the one power where the 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 rightful usage of it kind of goes unmet. There's no real meter for it in our modern day society. So another example of this would be trust fund babies, um, kids who get access to unlimited amounts of money from their parents. Um, I know I said male power as in the physical, but I've noticed with male power there's a balance. It's at least not something that can be abused in the outward world, right? Behind doors, yes, it can be abused. But I've noticed with female power, it can be abused outward, like overtly. Um, I think there's a reason why it's being allowed to run rampant like that, but it's really interesting. It's interesting to me that the instincts that compel women and the instincts that compel men are kind of being utilized in a way that benefits a very small group of people. Um, it's being utilized in a way that both of the sexes are essentially becoming more. Um, we're becoming more hedonistic. We're not really valuing each other, and we're just seeking to use each other. Um, is there a way out of that? I don't know, but this is what I've come to realize because I have a video that I made called "Women Don't Wield Power Righteously," and I've come to realize that humans simply don't wield power righteously. It's not something that we were meant to have in its totality. Now, you do have a separation of power from the male side and from the female side. For the females, female power is wielded in their sensuality. Um, but then the male power, more recently, actually, reproduction is also something that has kind of come into the forefront. But for males, it's physical prowess. But in a dating world, male power is it's I don't know if you could call it a power because the women kind of lead from behind in the modern age. The men don't really lead necessarily. It's kind of an odd situation. Um, but there are some realms where the point of this video is that women wield a power that no one teaches them to be responsible for, and they're just kind of allowed to use. I was having a conversation with a guy, make a short backtrack, having a conversation with a guy, and we were talking, and he's like, "No, man, I think they should be able to use it just, unfiltered, unadulterated." And I disagreed with him. I'm like, "No, man, we need to figure out how to control it. Like, we need to figure out how to mitigate it, right?" And I wasn't trying to come off like 1950s, but honestly, it doesn't seem like there's a benefit for just allowing unadulterated power of sensuality, especially if you have unlimited access to unlimited amount of people. Um, there's a lot of issues associated with that. Um, but being able to exploit a bunch of lonely people and make money off of it, and exploit people who are kind of stuck in their their expression, their lower expressions, seems to be very popular. But then also being able to manipulate people and use your sensuality as a carrot. Um, it seems like uh, we allow women to abuse people with their sensuality, and that's the part of their existence that I kind of resent, and I don't like that. Um, I know women probably don't like certain things about men, but this is one thing. This is just a concern I've had, and I don't really know exactly how to face it. But it doesn't really seem like uh, the younger women are really taught about the responsibility of sensual power and things like that. It seems like power and the responsibility of it is taught, at least in the physical prowess of men. We understand that, and it's kind of reinforced over and over. But when it comes to women, it seems to me that the mothers just essentially tell their daughters to run amok. Not outwardly telling them this, but it's just kind of understood that they can do whatever they want, and that they're not responsible for anyone. Like if they break up with some guy or something like that and go with like 6 or 7 or 8 guys, no one seems to like have any sense of like moral duty behind wielding power, right? Which is part of the reason why I came up with the video about women not being able to wield power righteously, is that the power that they have, the sensual power, it doesn't even seem like it's enough for them. It seems like they want more. Um, but that's all I can do in this video because I'm trying to keep it short. Um, no one man should have all that power.